2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday the 28th of January, and it's Have Fun at Work Day. And a big happy birthday to Alan Alda, Frank Skinner, Sarah McLachlan and Elijah Wood. The waiting continued on Thursday for the Sue Gray report on the Tory party parties. Apparently it's being checked by lawyers and HR specialists before it's officially handed over. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has had enough of waiting.
I want to see the publication of the report in full as soon as possible. No redactions, no editing, no summaries, no bits left out. The full report. After what this country has been through in the last year or two, the least they're entitled to is the full truth.
And the man at the centre of the report? Well, Boris says he plans to publish the whole thing, but he still has no idea when he might actually get it.
I'm afraid you've got to let the independent inquiries go on.
When do you think it'll be published?
I wish I can't really say any more than what I said yesterday about that.
Will you publish it in full?
Of course.
And will there be redactions? Can we expect someone to go at it with a Sharpie before it's published?
I can't go beyond what I said yesterday, but I stick completely by what I've said to the House of Commons.
The government hasn't just been sitting around, though, waiting anxiously for Sue Gray's email. They've also been busy with other scandals. Firstly, Boris was denying the story which leaked about his involvement in rescuing Penfarthing's animals from Kabul this summer.
This whole thing is total rhubarb. The military always prioritised human beings, and that was quite right. And I think we should be incredibly proud of what Pitting and what it achieved.
Labour's Lisa Nandy says the story just doesn't add up.
Well, somebody is lying about what happened during the events that led up to the evacuation of the animals from Afghanistan. I think it's becoming increasingly clear that you cannot believe a word that our Prime Minister says.
And just to add more scandal to the pile, Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has ended up in hot water for her mode of transport on a short trip to Australia last week. She used the government's private jet on a round trip, estimated to have cost us about £500,000, but she didn't seem bothered.
Every government decision is based on value for money. We have a government plane, specifically so ministers like me in my role as Foreign Secretary can go and do the work overseas, which is ultimately delivering for the British people.
America continued to pile on pressure in a bid to stop Russia invading Ukraine, with talks of sanctions for the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which will provide Russia gas to Germany. Joe Biden spoke to Ukrainian President Zelensky on Thursday and warned that there's a real possibility that Russia could invade next month. Meanwhile, Mayor of Kiev, former heavyweight boxer Vitaly Klitschko, has thanked both the UK and the US for their support of his country. But he had criticism for Germany, who refused to send weapons but have instead offered 5,000 helmets.
We need the defensive weapon. Modern weapons are very important right now, and we have to defend our country. Germans have to decide in which side. If Ukraine defend our independence, in territorial integrity, or in the side of aggressors. Right now it's not clear answer.
US President Joe Biden's been given an opportunity for a major win as Liberal Justice Stephen Breyer has announced his retirement from the Supreme Court. It gives Joe a chance to appoint a nominee with a simple majority in the Senate and should shore up the diminishing Liberal side of the court. He says there's only one thing on his mind, and that's to fulfil his campaign promise.
The person I will nominate will be someone with extraordinary qualifications, character, experience, and integrity. And that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court. It's long overdue in my view. I made that commitment during the campaign for president, and I will keep that commitment.
Still to come on the Smart 7, tributes to a comedy legend and all the Spider-Men gather. Right after this. Welcome back.
The Australian Open tennis wraps up this weekend, and it's been a good tournament for the hosts. Ashley Barty became the first Australian woman to reach the singles final in 42 years, where she'll face 27th seed American Danielle Collins, and she's absolutely delighted.
Saturday is going to be a new experience for me, so I go out there and embrace it, smile, try and do the best that I can, and whatever happens, because it's been an incredible January, an incredible summer for us, and I'm really looking forward to having one more one last crack here to really go out there and enjoy it.
Spider-Man No Way Home's turned into a monster box office hit as it keeps on climbing the charts. It's now the 6th highest grossing movie of all time. And as Oscar season looms, the PR machine is kicked into overdrive. Spoiler alert, but Deadline magazine gathered Tom, Toby and Andrew to chat all things web. Tom Holland says it's been a real privilege to play the character.
And this film for me was as special as an experience could ever be. So to share that with you two, and for it to have been such a wonderful experience, of which I have such amazing memories, I don't know, there's part of me that feels like it's the perfect time to jump off the building and swing off into the sunset and let the next lucky young kid come in to don the suit.
Tributes flooded in on Thursday for comedian and writer Barry Cryer, who died aged 86. He wrote sketches and jokes for the two Ronnies, Tommy Cooper and Morecambe and Wise, and was a regular on numerous BBC panel shows. Stephen Fry, John Cleese, Victoria Coren Mitchell and husband David Mitchell all paid their respects to a man described as an utter genius. Here he is telling a joke on a recent podcast with Richard Herring. May your memory be a blessing, Barry.
There's a man sitting opposite a sweet old lady on the train, and when the train sets off, she takes a Bible out of her bag and begins to read. Next station, Bible back in the bag. Happens again. Next station, Bible back in the bag. And it happens a third time, and he's getting off the train soon. He can't bear it. And he said, "Do excuse me?" She said, "Yes." He said, "Every time the train leaves the station, you take your Bible out of your bag and read from it. When we get to the next station, you pop your Bible back in the bag." "Yes, yes." "Do forgive me. Why are you doing this?" She said, "Why don't you off?"
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.